Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm a rising senior at Monte Vista High School, and my project is object detection with deep learning on the Raspberry Pi. My first milestone was setting up the Raspberry Pi, installing TensorFlow, and then running a pre-trained model of object detection with TensorFlow. The first thing I did was set up my Raspberry Pi 3 by installing Raspberry Pi OS with the Raspberry Pi Imager, enabling SSH and VNC, and then connecting my Raspberry Pi to the Wi-Fi network through an Ethernet cable. I then attached two heatsinks to the Raspberry Pi to prevent it from overheating. After connecting to my Raspberry Pi terminal through PuTTY, I then installed TensorFlow Lite 2 in order to run object detection models. To do this, I first installed a virtual environment along with NumPy, which is a Python library, and then I installed TensorFlow packages inside of the virtual environment. To test out my TensorFlow installation, I ran a test TensorFlow program with this command, which prints out a random flow as shown. Next, I ran a pre-trained model with TensorFlow. To do this, I initially connected and configured the Pi camera, installed the interpreter class from the TensorFlow Lite API, installed a few Python packages, and then I ran the example model. Using VNC and or HDMI output, we can see the camera preview of the Raspberry Pi, as well as the label of the object that is shown as a result of the image classification model. One problem that occurred was that building TensorFlow from source was hard because I had to familiarize myself with Unix commands, shell scripts, and different softwares. I solved this issue by building TensorFlow Lite instead. I also ran into a problem when trying to display the camera preview on VNC, which I then solved by enabling direct capture mode and or using the direct HDMI output onto a monitor. My next step will be to rewrite my own Python file, and then potentially I'll add modifications from there.